Hey everyone, it's December 25th, and that means that if today's your birthday, you share with serial killer Janie Lou Gibbs, who murdered 5 male relatives in 1966 and 67, and that is her right over there. Born on Christmas in Georgia in 1932, Gibbs was raised in a strict, heavily religious household, spending much of her free time at church as a girl. Her father died when she was just 4, and as often happens in small towns with heavily religious families, she got married at an extremely young age, 15, and started having children. She wound up as a grandmother by the time she was 34 years old, and as in her youth, spent her free time volunteering at the church. Gibbs ran a daycare out of her home, sometimes caring for as many as 25 children at a time. After 18 years of marriage, her husband suddenly died, with doctors believing it to be from undiagnosed liver disease, and the church rallied around Gibbs to ensure she had a support structure during this difficult time, and she made sure to tithe 10% of her life insurance payout to the group. Sadly, tragedy would strike again just 7 months later when her 13-year-old son also suddenly died. Doctors assumed he had inherited his father's liver troubles, and once again she turned to the church for support. 2 days after the 1-year anniversary of her husband's death, her 16-year-old son was on his way to the hospital with headaches, cramping, and dizziness when he died. He was posthumously diagnosed with hepatitis, and as she had done twice before, Gibbs prayed at church and donated a portion of the life insurance money she received. She was heartbroken in all the tragedy that had befallen her in the last year, but in October of 1967, her last remaining son gave her her first grandchild, which seemed to raise her spirits. But when her grandson was less than a month old, he and his father both died, displaying similar symptoms to the rest of the men surrounding her. Despite all of the death, her neighbors and friends at church couldn't believe that she had anything to do with it, and insurance adjusters were unable to force autopsies to allay their suspicions. But her daughter-in-law and physician were able to get a thorough examination of the 2 most recent dead, and that's when the truth came out. They'd been surreptitiously fed arsenic, and Gibbs was arrested the day before her birthday. Her husband and 2 other sons were exhumed and found to have also been poisoned. Gibbs was declared mentally incompetent and was sent to a state mental hospital, but was deemed fit to stand trial in 1976. She was convicted and sentenced to 5 terms of life in prison, being denied parole 17 times. Suffering from Parkinson's and mostly confined to a walker and a wheelchair, she was released from custody in 1999 and allowed to spend her remaining time in a nursing home under the custody of her sister, her only living relative, since she had killed everyone else. In all, she received $31,000 in life insurance payouts on the dead men and boys in her life, with her church getting a tidy 10% of that. I've been unable to find out if that money was ever recovered, but I doubt it. And if this is your birthday, I hope you have a great day. Leave me a comment so I can wish you a happy birthday. If you know someone whose birthday it is today, send them this video so they can find out all about their birthday twin. And to Janie Lou Gibbs, I say, happy birthday, you bastard.